so much for the auto transition that was supposed to kick in there. That was a little underwhelming. Good evening, everybody. How you guys all doing?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Good to see you guys all here. We've actually got a lot of stuff, and it's kind of interesting because at the beginning, I'd say about Monday or Tuesday, Deana and I were talking. We're like, well, we're going to talk about what we're going to be talking about. And it's literally one of those things of just like, well, there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and there's this. And it's just nonstop. More and more stuff kept on coming up. So there's going to be a fair amount. And so if you see me coming up there, it's because I'm taking a look at the schedule of what we got coming up and keeping that all coordinated. But before we get into it, obviously, there's a couple of things we'll go through, which is a couple of the basics, which is obviously, don't forget, if you guys want to join us within Discord, we have auto activism, which is always there. Keeps us up to date with everything that's going on, including some of the new events coming up. There's a couple other drag shows coming in, so we leave people information in regards to what's going on in a couple of the different areas. As well as every Friday nights, as you guys know, I've also updated the image so that it now shows the correct time, which is every Friday nights at 9 p.m. We are doing Deana Joe, the Spaces version, because you know what? It's a space. So.
And everybody else can join in, and I like that. Different voices.
It is.
It's fun. If you haven't tried it yet, you should try it.
Absolutely. If you guys want to just come by, jump in, and just listen, that's absolutely fine. A lot of people are jumping into just to listen. You want to jump in and participate voice-wise, we absolutely appreciate it. I can tell you from personal, I kind of enjoy it too because this stream is absolutely fun and it's something that Deana and I both absolutely love to do. But I will admit this is a little bit of work. We need to get some content. We need to get some stuff prepared ahead of time. We need to look our best.
And Joe does the majority of the work.
That's really sweet. Does. I do ask her for
I send
Deana
stuff,
for a
but he does all the work.
I do, and I do love it. So it's fair. I also do love enjoy to get the video clips prepared and everything else. It's a fair amount of work, but you know, Friday is kind of a nice one where everybody gets to sit back, relax. I don't need to do any prep work. Deana and I both just literally show up. We start up, and we just talk about the week with everybody.
And you do a great job at it too. You don't just do all the work. You do great work.
Now she's being nice, but it's not about me today.
No,
not about me today because it is.
It's International Women's Day, everyone.
It is.
Cheers to all the women out there.
Absolutely.
Young,
cheers to all
old,
ladies.
Doesn't matter what you look like. We appreciate you. Cheers.
Absolutely. And in the spirit of this, it is my particular purpose for this particular episode to be a little bit more quiet and let Deana be a little bit more loud.
Well,
possible.
Joe has the right idea because what we're seeing today is absolutely interesting. It's also vile. It's uplifting. So, you know, there are so many great women out there that we've been able to appreciate, read their tweets, hear some of their thoughts. And that's amazing. And we also need to include the fact that there are trans women who are also amazing human beings, who are also amazing women. And unfortunately, today is the most disgusting day possible if you are a trans woman. The amount of hate and disgusting vileness that is thrown at trans women is sickening. It's unnecessary. And for the men who think that they can speak on women's behalf, shut the fuck up, sit down. You don't get to speak on women's behalf. Okay? You don't get to pretend that you care that women are getting wiped out because of trans women, which isn't even a thing. Women are still here. We're still vocal. I am not threatened by any trans woman taking away my femininity, my womanness, any of those things. It is absolutely ridiculous. And if you are a woman who bases your womanhood on what other people do or how they are. You have bigger issues, and you need to start looking inside yourself and being a better woman and more secure woman. Get over yourself. So
Which,
I am, if you do you want to jump in, Joe? I just wanted to
no, no.
say
Oh, no, no, no. Go. I'm not interrupting today.
it is absolutely vile and disgusting that people would speak this way to other people for nothing, for absolutely nothing. You don't have to be a hateful person. It's wrong. I would like to give a shout out to the women in my family, my mother in particular. She is the best role model for all four of her daughters. She has 3 master's degrees and a bachelor's degree. She raised 4 girls, very strong girls, who do their own wonderful things in this world, and we even birthed daughters who were
We've seen
passing
one.
that along.
We've seen one firsthand, pretty strong.
Yep. My 2 older sisters also have a daughter each, and those is a woman, is absolutely phenomenal. She's amazing. So shout out to all the women in my family. Shout out to all the women who are in our chat today. And shout out to all the beautiful trans women.
Absolutely. And that's where I think we should start with. So in the spirit of International Women's Day, there's 2 things we want to start off with. The first one is recognition for Fae Johnstone, a local advocate who runs Wisdom to Action. She's been running she's been running the organization for quite a long time and trying to bring equality and change, and also bring light to a lot of transgender issues. I first recognized her in regards to an article she wrote where she was able to gather another group of roughly 30 other organizations and trying to speak out against Jordan Peterson speaking in Ottawa back in January. And since then, I've started, following her, and she's been quite good. She also spoke out about the NAC, and also wrote an article with Ottawa citizens in regards to the slow progression that we're starting to see in regards to anti-trag and anti-trans. And it was a fantastic article that really did show quite accurately, like, this is a large problem. This is a significant problem that's really starting to get into our into the narrative. Like this is a problem that's progressing, and this is actually something we're going to be seeing a little bit more as we're progressing through this episode. So I want to see. So first of all, I want to congratulate her for this particular segment in Hershey. And I even got the commercial here, so I'm going to show this before we come back to discussion, because there's some stuff I want to discuss after this. So
my name is Fae Johnstone. I'm the executive director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future at Hershey's Canada.
So, one full 15-second clip about how much she's working for it. It's a celebration by Hershey, saying she's doing a great job being advocate. I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing. I also thought, if you're watching the clip, there's at one point that you see her absolutely happy, because you know what? It's a huge and wonderful point to be recognized for a lot of hard work she does. Sadly, everybody knows where I'll go with this. It got some negative feedback. And some is a really, really nasty understatement. From general comments to Twitter, to call-outs from certain right-wing media, all the way down to the States, where Candace Owens is even commenting on the video and in public
Shut the
forums.
fuck up, Candace Owen. No, nobody fucking cares. You don't comment on our shit. Fuck off. Fuck her. I know she's watching.
She's not. Hopefully this clip will find our way to her.
Somebody clip this and send it to Candace Owens.
Absolutely. So And I've commented on Fae Johnstone's stuff, both quote tweeting and just replying, just saying congratulations, this is fantastic. This is a huge honor. You know, it's a wonderful thing. She's done, and I'm looking at them like she looks so happy. It's a wonderful thing to do that accomplishment, especially combined with this, and this is something I also wanted to cover here. Combined with this, as well as something else I've been doing today in regards to National Women's Day. So my goal here, and I got Deana's permission to speak on this. My goal for today was mostly to amplify. So if you guys watch my Twitter, I did do a lot of kind of tweeting, but it wasn't really me. I was retweeting with a couple of exceptions in regards to a couple of comments, which were hopefully kind of obvious. It was mostly I tried to retweet and say like, no, today's not my day. I know I've got I know I got some followers. I know I've got Twitter Blue that helps me push out the message. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to take my whatever strength I have in the platform and just amplify everybody else. Amplify any of the female voices I know that's following me, that I'm putting out messages that I'm following also, and keep retweeting and putting it forward. And so I did that. I did some from, I also brought in Fae Johnstone's. I also messaged about, I did do the one messaging about transgender women are also women. And so having sort of hooked in to a lot of women's messaging in regards to International Women's Day by just A, amplifying, and B, doing a bit of commentary, but also mostly just amplifying whatever's there. It kind of hooked me in there, which means I was going to be seeing any feedback from it. There was a fair amount of positive feedback. Love it. Love the likes. Love the positive comments. Absolutely. But there was also a fair amount of negative comment and a fair amount of negative feedback. And I've seen it. I've seen a fair amount of it. Deana's seen a fair amount of it. I think from sort of just the advocacy work we see, we can kind of see a fair amount. I don't think I've seen as much as I saw in regards to stuff that what we've done to as much as I've seen in regards to people people attacking trans.
What the hell is going on?
And I was like in shock and a little horrified, and I figured I'd be a decently tough guy that's kind of, I go to people's faces. I go straight there to go, to go talk to them, to be patient, to like, all right, let's talk. Let's see what's going on here. You're kind of an idiot, but I think we can discuss this. But even I was kind of horrified, and even seeing this, this kind of stuff being yelled at me, I've never seen this kind of like going on, and I it's one of those like I'm kind of shook a little bit, and after seeing all this, and for example, like Fae Johnstone, who locked down her account, I can't blame her. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, that's all she did. I'm like, that's
she
incredible.
Did was be great at what she does.
Absolutely.
Win an award for it. Post about it.
Absolutely.
And then get shit on by a bunch of fucking bigots. Are you kidding me? What is wrong? What is fucking wrong with people? It drives me nuts.
Absolutely 100% right.
For what? For what? Nothing. For what? Because she is a trans woman? People need to fucking reevaluate their shit. They need to think. Stop talking about freedom. Stop talking about hugs. Stop talking about love. Stop talking about what it is to be Canadian. Stop doing all those things if you don't actually fucking mean it. And we're going to see something soon enough of an asshole who talks about freedom at the same time as taking away people's freedom. Literally those words in the same fucking video.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've been seeing a fair amount of exactly that in regards to like it's even going. It's still focused in regards to Fae. So I mean, I want to send messages to all the strong women, and I mean, there's a fair long list of strong women that I want to send a message out to for love and support. But after this day, I say my number one strong woman to have to deal with all this is any trans woman, and especially right now, Fae Johnstone at the front.
Cheers. Cheers to
For
that.
sure. Because, I mean, goddamn, that is incredible.
Can I read? Maybe you can put it up. G-Man Prime.
Mm-hmm.
My trans daughter says, are you putting it up?
I can absolutely.
My
not.
trans daughter says she would never, ever wish to do anything to affect women in general in a negative way. She just wants to be and to support women. G-Man, can you pass along a message for me to your trans daughter? She never has to apologize or be on the defensive of why she wants to be a woman. She is not affecting women in any negative way. That's who they are. They're fucking sick in the head. They have to hate because they don't understand. I think your daughter needs to just focus on herself and being the best version she can be. People are going to hate no matter who you are, but I need her to be safe too. So we're going to fight the fight for your daughter and other trans women, because what we saw today and what we saw in Peterborough, what we hear on videos is absolutely unacceptable, and sitting around and watching or complaining about it on Twitter is just not enough. So we're always going to be out there. So I love your daughter.
If your daughter needs backup, Deana's there.
I'm going to fucking bring my megaphone, yo.
She will. She absolutely will.
Done.
Still think I think it's a terrible thing for you to have, but I'm kind of glad you have it at the same time. So, you know, I'm fucked up now. I admit it. I admit it. So, still in the vein of International Women's Day, and I want to tie it in with intersectionality, because I actually learned a little bit more about intersectionality today in regards to you can't view issues with one group without acknowledging how people will be affected by other groups. And it's huge, and it's something I kind of knew but not known as much. So I mean, intersectionality, there's a lot of discussions like, you know what, lesbian women will have issues, a black woman will have issues, but guess what, the black women and the lesbian women who are both black and lesbian will have the issues too, and she will have the issues of being a lesbian in the black community while being black, and she will have issues of being a black woman in the lesbian community. And it's this complexity just makes things worse and worse and worse. So it kind of fits as a segue to bring us over to the other thing in regards to international women's, that we can't ignore just, it's like, yes, we've got the international women's as well as transgender women and whatnot, but you know what? There is an increase of attack in regards to not only that we saw in regards to trans, but trans and drag.
Yes.
And if anybody who should be sort of, really, really working, not so much really compassion, but definitely there's compatibility in regards to trans and drag, and there is. Would be those two groups. I just want to make sure I've got that. Yeah. So this is based on something that actually came out today. And this is Freedom George, who was originally convite back during the convoy days, outspoken in regards to freedom and whatnot. And today he's gone off onto a discussion in regards to drag and so on and so forth. And I want to bring this up because he's never really spoken much about it till he's spoken about it a little bit, but it's kind of built up. But you know what? We're going to play the clip and then we'll discuss it after.
Today I want to talk a little bit about grooming our children and how we can stop this. We all know I'm about freedom of choice for everyone. I think we need to take the choice away from them, just like they did in Tennessee. I'm going to be phoning today when I got service to Danielle Smith. Let's do what they did in Tennessee, what the governor did down there, and let's get some things in place from our government that will stop underage drag show story time for the kids. I'm all about freedom and freedom of choice for those adults. You know, they're free to take their kids into that stuff, and I don't agree with it. I don't think they're very good parents for doing it, but they're free to do so. So let's take that choice away, just like they did in Tennessee, which isn't even a story time. You know, they're not just sitting there reading books to kids. They are grooming them. They're dancing around. They're spreading their legs. They're doing all kinds of drag stuff. To save those kids from those parents that think that that's okay, we just have to take the choice away from them, so it can't be done. And we all know what they're doing. You know, they're taking away our men, for one. We're not going to have anybody left to fight anymore. The books they're putting in the schools, too, yes. Get into those school boards. We got to start at our local levels, guys. We got to start small and work our way up. We got to convince these people. And the problem is, though, you know, all of our systems have been infiltrated right in front of us for many, many years. So now we have to do the same back. We need to infiltrate them. We need to take our power back. We got to. So get into those school boards. You know, get at your MLAs. Get at your premiers. And let's get some stuff, you know, in Alberta. Maybe we could get it done first. Danielle Smith, we want you to write something up to make it illegal for drag queen story time for underage people, kids. We want that. Let's make Alberta like Tennessee. Let's stop these drag queen story times for kids, because they're not story times. I've seen the videos. Love you guys.
There's a lot to unpack. There is a lot to unpack. So before we get into the whole thing, but first of all, yeah, Mike, I'm not disagreeing with you. More than likely, he has not seen a drag story time. But beyond this, there's a couple of things that kind of ring loud to me. He's calling out to pretty much bring in the entire sort of what we've seen in regards to the right wing, in regards to basically his combination of everything right now. The anti-drag story time, the trans bathroom, and the books. Sorry, he didn't so much have the trans story time, but he did have the books. So he's touching on Tennessee and he's touching on Florida. And he's trying to turn Alberta into the U.S. southern states in regards to, let's get rid of the drag story times. Let's get rid of the books. Let's start bringing this in. Let's go all on freedom by removing freedoms.
Take it away from the parents. Take the freedom away from the parents. Let's take it away from the parents.
This is kind of what they've been trying to do the entire time. This is kind of what we saw that they were going to try to see, and this is what everybody knew what they were going to be trying to do.
Trudeau
they were going to try.
Was right.
Trudeau was right. Love or hate Trudeau, he wasn't wrong on this, so that's for sure.
Talking about this particular instance, we knew that they were going to move on to other homophobic, transphobic, racist bullshit, anti-choice, fucking bullshit.
Absolutely. It's one I think that we've both discussed in regards. I know you and I, Deana, discussed this, that a lot of these guys, and we've known these, and we know convites from the local area that we discussed and talked to. They couldn't have cared less about drag shows or trans issues. They were just about freedoms and mandates. That's it.
What's in your vaccine? Do you know what you're taking? You're being microchipped.
Yep, exactly.
We don't want a vax pass. That's all that was on their minds.
Absolutely. They could not care less, but somehow they've now switched over to this. Now, it's not all of them. There's a few of them that have now gotten really concerned about 15-minute cities and digital IDs.
Oh, they're harping about all of them.
They
have
are.
enough hate in their heart that they can diversify their hatred and their conspiracy theories. And they did that during COVID, actually, because we had the lizard people and we had Pizzagate and we had microchipping and we had COVID as a psyops and all this other
Absolutely. But here's my thing. I don't really care much about your bitching about 15-minute city, and I don't care much about you thinking that the digital IDs are a problem. And the reason why is you can scream till you're blue in the face. The problem is that you're going to be screaming to just the general public and look like a fool and not really affecting people. As opposed to anti-drag story and transphobic like attacks. That's dangerous to actual people.
100%.
That's my problem.
Yes.
Again, yell at the lizard people. Yell at the Illuminati. Good luck finding them. They're so
People
powerful.
still died because of those conspiracy theories.
Did they?
100%. Who shot up the pizza place when there was no fucking such thing as Pizzagate, right? Like,
Fair
these
enough.
crazies will take it to another level.
That's fair.
And people will get hurt because of there'll be bombings on the satellite towers because they think that they're 5G. And I mean, the tower is nothing, but if somebody's working there, someone's losing their life, right? Like, property.
You know
is
what? You're
property.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So-
And it's to me, it's I guess it's
But I'm not discounting the threat to trans people because that threat is ever present. It is very real.
And I think that's kind of the important part here is I viewed the trans and drag more because we know faces already. We know people already. We know these people, and we know people at the drag story times. We've met some of these these drag story performers. They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
I've had some conversations with Cyril Sinter, who was at the NAC through Twitch. Got to see briefly Betty Baker, and we have a connection through Danny Taro, who I still think of all the drag performers that we've seen to do stereotypes, I still say Betty Baker is still the cutest one we've seen. Just because, and that's probably loud, and I'm sorry. Just because they seemed very, very sweet and sincere in just being a very sort of kind act to the student, to the kids. Yeah.
And fun.
They look
a breath of
absolutely
fresh
fun.
air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like they just,
great.
they love to do the performance that they did for the kids. They looked like they performed for the kids to do, to do the stories, to get involved. They look like they were natural to it, and they also love to do it. And I'm like, that's fantastic.
And the audience loves Betty Baker. Betty Baker sells out like it's a packed house every time. They have a really great interactive show from what I've seen.
Absolutely.
I would hire Betty Baker for my kid's birthday party with all of the Montessori class that my daughter is in, like we did with all the other birthday events that we've had. I think it would be great. Drag story time for birthdays.
So somebody should clip this episode, this particular part right here, send it to Betty Baker going, look, business opportunity. Come to Ottawa.
Absolutely.
We'll make it happen.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Actually, I went to a birthday, remember at the NAC when Monkey Rock was there? Monkey Rock actually performed at a birthday party that Camilla went to pre-COVID. So, yeah, like it's great kids entertainment. So
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. No, it's there's a lot of, so, I mean, nobody here that's right now listening and watching us has any doubts in regards to drag story time being exactly something made for kids. It's loud, crazy costumes that you enjoy to watch as a kid because it's supposed to be fun.
Not just kids. I have a great time.
Oh, and
Yeah.
you're right, and you're right. Some adults too.
It's all ages.
Yeah, absolutely. It is targeted for the kids, but you know what? The big kids are also having fun too. The big kids like Deana. So it is annoying when it's being characterized as something that is just absolutely not. And this is kind of what is, as we saw here in regards to Freedom
What he's
George's
doing.
video.
Yeah. I seen the videos. I seen the videos. They
Yeah.
can't do this in front of kids. The same videos we get from the same dumbasses on Twitter that keep recycling the same 5 videos that half of them aren't even drag shows. Like, it's just the most ridiculous thing in the world.
It is, and they're coming in from libs of TikTok. So, which is already a questionable source to begin with. But again, it's none of these guys have, you're right. None of these guys have, but it's my thing I wanted to bring out in regards to this video is also, as crazy as an idiot as we think Freedom George might be, what he was saying is kind of what we've been warning in regards to how these things occur. And we've seen this firsthand. He was talking about, let's get these books out of the classroom. Let's start at the boards. We need to sort of take over the school board.
He's never read a fucking book in his life.
Agreed. His knowledge of literacy is limited at best. But his messaging is not wrong, because you and I have both seen this. You and I have both seen the activity that they will do at school board firsthand.
Yep.
And this is what they're going to try to do there. They're going to try to now take over the school boards the same way as they've done in the States and other places. They will try to get the books removed. They're not going to be able to go as far as what Florida has in regards to removing books altogether, but they'll chip away. They'll try to get that to become the norm. They'll try to do, and if he's effective, if he gets Daniel Smith to actually to do an anti-drag law out in Alberta, he'll try to do it. I'm not going to say what she has to do, because you know what? I want her to struggle to go through the court system to figure that out. But there's nothing to deny that they're not going to try to do it. And in Alberta, there's a good possibility. Ontario, I don't know. Doug is many things.
Not just about Doug. Ontario, the people of Ontario wouldn't let it happen.
That's what I mean. Doug is...
I hope I'm not being too optimistic about Ontario, but I feel like Ontario is a very liberal province, and we hopefully don't have that many people who are as disgusting and vile.
No. We probably surprisingly have more than we were comfortable with.
Oh, 100%. We definitely do.
I don't think my own message is that I don't think Doug is, because I don't think Doug cares enough to get into that. He's if it's something that he can do, like that turns into money, like tearing up the green belt, not a problem. I'm all on there. It's like, I want to ban books and I want to ban drag story time. It's like,
no,
what's in it
that's
for
not
me?
his way of fucking up education. He just cuts everything.
It's exactly.
He doesn't worry about the books.
He's like, what's in it for me? Like, do I get money out of that? No. All right, fuck that. Or is somebody am I gonna get indirect money or direct money?
Or the churches, like the crazy evangelical churches or whatever, biker churches or whatever churches there are that like to fund this nonsense might decide that they want to start funding this nonsense to our politicians. It's very possible that happens.
If they start throwing in the money, then maybe.
I feel like they're throwing in the money to some bad actors who keep showing up at these drag story times. So
it's possible.
Well,
very
the pastor's daughter was there.
That's true. That's true. There is obviously not last weekend, because we didn't go last weekend. There was no place to go.
The last Peterborough. That's true.
But yeah, the daughter from Biker Church was there at the last Peterborough event. But yeah, that was the excitement from there.
Well, I just want to tell Freedom George.
Yes. Speak your words.
Go fuck yourself. You're never going to like you hardly can speak. So we know you can't really read, and it's none of your business. None of your kids are in school, and if parents want to do what parents want to do, you don't have a say. You don't get to chant freedom and all this other bullshit that you put us through. You were one of the people that put us through hell to tell us that you were doing it for us so you could protect our freedoms. For you 1 year later to tell us that, hold on, there's some freedoms I don't want you to have because I don't like what I see. Who the fuck do you think you are? Okay, so he's a loser. There was more I wanted to say about him, but I can't remember because what can you say other than he's a fucking loser? Freedom George, you're a fucking loser. Somebody clip that and send it to Freedom George, please. Thank you.
Speaking of losers, you're against drag in Alberta.
In Berta.
I present to you Derick Reimer.
Loser.
We don't have our cameras active.
We are now calling the police. Stop. We have the police coming, so it is your choice to leave or deal with the police.
Very abusive in there.
We are going
For
to...
love is love.
Hey,
That looks
guys.
like very hateful, very abusive.
Now, you may all be asking yourself, why am I bringing up Derick Reimer? With half of you probably responding, I already know why. So Derick Reimer had a couple of interesting things this week. First of all, he was arrested after the event, and he was put in jail. And once he was in jail, he was to be released, and nobody knew where he was because he was apparently released, including, his friend there. Ray Friesian, as well as Rebel Media News. Nobody knew where he was. He was on lam. He was gone. He was missing. He was completely MIA. Where was he? Well, it turned out bitch was still in jail because he refused to sign the release form and the release conditions, which included pretty much not going to any LGBTQ plus events or people, whatnot. Just basically stay the hell away from people who don't want to see you. Sounds like a reasonable ask. No. So he refused. On Thursday and Friday, he refused until, and thank you, Resistance Cats, for letting us know. He eventually signed it on Monday morning because apparently, I guess, spending the entire weekend in jail kind of said, you know what? Maybe I can live with this, live with these conditions until court. So.
Maybe somebody hit on him in jail.
Maybe that created some confused feelings he did not want to confront.
Maybe that's why he went to jail. Maybe he wanted to be in jail.
Maybe. So that is Derick Reimer. This is and so now, aside from Freedom George kind of pushing this, you've now got
pastors, priests. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and do we need to remind you, fucking assholes? Definitely Derick Reimer is probably in the category. I guess I have to be careful what I say. But what about Hockey Canada? They just announced that asshole resigned from his position because of multiple allegations of sexual assault within junior Hockey Canada.
Who, Reimer?
No, I'm talking about Reimer is going after Drag Storytime.
Right.
Because of the so-called groomers. Meanwhile, he's he's a pastor, is he not?
He's a pastor, but he's also, as a couple people pointed out, he's a pastor, but he's also got a huge criminal background in regards to all sorts of other criminal improprieties.
Figure. But we also, like I had mentioned earlier this week, we're purposely, not we, these assholes are purposely pointing everybody in a different direction that we know there's no statistical proof of any type of issue of any children getting hurt or whatever from drag queens, drag kings, drag story time. But how many parents do you know that have kids that have sent their kids to hockey?
Yep.
Like this is happening from coaches, hockey, gymnastics, basketball, what have you. And the news just came out. Do you think a single one of these fucking assholes tweeted about it, let alone want to protest it? Do you think they even touched my threads when I posted that? They won't even try to make a snide remark. They don't touch that.
No, they don't.
Because it's not about the kids.
Yeah.
Because it's not about sexual assault.
No, it's not, because I mean, there's a large, I mean, even during the even post convoy,
Cher keeps asking me not to swear, but I'm sorry, it's what I do.
There's an 18+ warning on this particular show.
That's why we start at 9:30, so Deana can say what she wants and how she wants.
Yeah. And let's be honest, if I'm the one that's ownership, I don't fucking care about swearing.
Watch your mouth. I know. It's unladylike on International Women's Day.
That's true. That is absolutely true. No, it's funny because I remember talking to Daddy about it. He's like, yeah, swearing, you kind of want to limit it on YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit. So I'm like, I'm going to say what it is. People are kind of following. And if it's going to hurt sort of popularity, I'm like, I'm going to live with it. I do want to get more viewers. I do want to get some more followings. It's kind of a bit of the purpose because I want to see if we can get the message out to try to get more people involved in activism. That's the main goal that we have. Language is fine. But back to...
I don't give a shit.
Exactly. But back to Derick.
Derick.
He's one of many. I mean, he's more of the radical type. And gotta be honest, Alberta, I'm kind of worried about you. I'm worried about... You've got some radicals in there. You've got a fair amount of radical activity going on there, period. You've got, I mean, for fuck's sakes, you got Daniel Smith running the province right now. Forget Freedom George. Forget Derick Reimer. Forget everything else in Alberta. No. But I'm not saying forget permanently. I'm just saying forget all those. You've got, Daniel Smith at the top right now running the show.
Who's fueling her? People like this. People like
Absolutely.
Moose Elliott and dumbasses like that. Like,
we got Moose Elliott running around with a sledgehammer.
what a loser. If he wasn't so big, I'd mistake him for one of Snow White's roommates.
That took me a second.
Hi ho, hi ho. That's what I'm seeing.
Yes, and the show also has musical interludes brought to you by Deana. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's definitely grumpy dwarf.
And dopey. He's a hybrid.
He's multiple castings. Moving on.
I gave this some thought.
Agreed. So, who we got? Oh, yes. So, we still haven't left the West, by the way. in all the crazy activity, we're now back in the West still. In this chain of pretty much connected stories, because we now go back to Calgary in regards to a very busy weekend when it comes to protesting in Calgary. So I think I got the days backwards here. We'll start off with Mr. Michael Petch, a viewer, a follower, good friend. Very, very wonderful. He's very, very forthcoming in regards to all the information, gives us some opinions, will tell us when we're wrong, which is always a good sign too, and when we're not quite catching it. But in this regards here, we're telling the story that he was able to bring it to us in regards to Calgary. So one of the protests, which I believe this one was on Saturday, or on Sunday, which was in regards to a drag brunch. Now, speaking of Mike Petch, he's right there, picks her up, and all the Sunday brunch. Yes, absolutely. So if you're not following Mike on Twitter, that's his handle. That's him in the chat in Twitch. On Twitch. By all means, go follow him. But there was a fair amount in regards to the drag protests there. They did do a wonderful job in regards to, as compared to the first weekend, that did not quite have the numbers, in which case Derick Reimer got into the drag story time, which was not fun. But in this case, it was a little bit better. There was a show of police force here at the drag brunch. There were some counter protesters, but as Mike reported, they highly outnumbered them quite a bit. So unfortunately, we're not able to quite see them.
Congratulations, Calgary.
Absolutely. That was an absolutely good move, but that's not the only one that they had. So as I'm prepping the other one, trying to get that there. But starting off with the drag story, the drag brunch, as Mike has comment on that. The pics are from Sunday. So yes, absolutely. That was Sunday. I got it backwards because Saturday was the city hall.
Right.
Which we're about to take a look at in a minute here. I didn't get as much quite footage in regards to the drag story hall, but I do want to focus a little bit more. So a drag brunch was kind of the defense in regards to the drag brunch. Again, similar to drag story time, it's an all ages event. There's singing, whatnot. It's not a large thing, but the Saturday one was a little different in regards to the kind of the messaging here. So this one here was to the Calgary in regards to, and these are images from, I don't have the images here. Oh, these are from Rory Gill, who was the president of CUPE. So he was also there to help protest, but there was a fair amount of people there in regards to the protest. So they were good. But this one was in regards to, I want to say in regards to, use your words, Joe. This one was against trans in the bathrooms. I believe they were trying to pressure the city in regards to it. Mike, if you... Yeah. So absolutely, Mike doesn't take pictures of the defenders. If you do want to take pictures of the defenders, you can absolutely take the pictures, send them to me. I will digitize them for you in regards to blockout defenders.
Blurring it, yeah.
I could do that for both pictures and videos. And anybody who wants to bring out stuff like that, let me know. I can assist you on either A, do the digitization for you, or B, helping you learn how to do it. I figure that's how we all grow. So yes, Jane Q Citizen, I did grab some information from them too. In regards to Saturday, I believe there was a few photos from there too. There was a bit of focus in regards to the police action. I know Mike and JQ also commented on that, saying that the police were trying to...
They were in the defender's face.
They were in the defender's face. This is the only time I kind of hesitate on that one, and in the sense of if they're liaison kind of officers, they're going to be in the bigger face just because they're just trying to. They always need to address the bigger threat.
But the defenders aren't the threat. The defenders are there to defend.
You and I
And
both know that.
They're just standing. Well, the police should know that too. Otherwise, ACAB. Like, the defenders are there on behalf of the venue, because oftentimes the venue is aware that there's going to be defenders and works with the defenders on where they're going to be placed.
Yeah.
And if those fucking assholes didn't show up to drag story time in the first place, there wouldn't be a problem. So it's not the defenders coming looking for a fight. It's clearly the assholes that want to protest.
But those assholes will try to start chirping at the defenders.
So that's why the police should be facing the chirpers and not the defenders.
Agreed. I can kind of see where they want to kind of turn to defenders in regards to all it takes is one good chirper to really piss off a group. And they don't want to have, they know that, to be honest, like, you know, I'm thinking of some of the rallies we've been at, you know, NAC, Peterborough, where the odds are overwhelmingly in the favor of defenders. Thank you, my beautiful wife.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Beautiful wife.
From all the awesome women. She says Happy International Women's Day to everybody. If you guys didn't hear.
Cheers.
And
used to say cheers. What'd she say?
It's because we could give birth to men. It's my fault. Because I did clip this out and I should have left it in there. During Freedom George's video, at one point he's like, "Oh, I just heard it was Happy International Women's Day, and I want to thank all the women because, you know, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been born because, you know, women give birth to us. That's what they do." That is his view of women's role for International Women's Day.
Yay. We're birthers.
Your ovens.
This is why men shouldn't speak on International Women's Day.
Again.
Maybe I think I'm giving him too much credit. Definitely not a man.
This is why I limited my messaging to very much. Like, aside from it's not us to speak, it's them. So to sort of amplify that message in particular, as well as just, no. I'm pretty sure the women are also contributing a lot more than just babies.
What little girl grows up thinking, I'm going to grow up to have babies? I mean, obviously, little girls will want to have babies, but that's not their entire life. That's not what they grow up thinking. That's certainly not what I grew up thinking when I was a child.
Some do, some don't, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to shame the ones that do.
No, I'm not saying about having babies. I mean, we all have different, times where we play with les poupées and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not all we're thinking about as girls.
Nor should it be.
And what kind of a boy grows up thinking that that's all women are going to be doing? Like, what did your mother do? Did you watch your mother? Like, did you know your mother?
Yeah.
You know anything about your mother? That you talk about women this way? I don't know.
You're absolutely right. Mr. Petch, I want to bring this up because I do recall.
Yes.
So
I was reading that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a read. So,
it's okay.
I did want to bring this up because I remember Mike messaging us on Twitter about this because I was really watching on there because we didn't get a chance to go down to our plans that Deana and I were looking forward to on the weekend. So we did watch what was going on there, and I was watching the streams and watching the activity. Fantastic again, Calgary. But yeah, you guys did have a bit of a face off with the police.
But this is why, if the only clip that's coming out is from Rebel News, then this just highlights again why Joe and I do what we do. Because these people right now are in control of the narrative about what happened in Calgary. And that needs to not be so. There needs to be other people who are the check or the balance or whatever you want it to be, or both, for people coming out and destroying the truth to the masses and giving them further ammunition to say, we saw the video, we know what's going on, crazy Antifa, whatever fucking bullshit. We need to be out there telling the truth. And the way that we do that is with the same weapons that they choose to tell the lie.
No, absolutely. And it's true, because I mean, it is exactly that. I mean, these guys, they're not going to. Oh, I did not add those. Sorry.
That's good.
It's something we keep repeating, and it's one of those discussions I'm still going to have an argument with a fair amount of people, including people that we do view as allies, because there are a lot of friendly people, but we're on different sides of this particular issue, which is, smash the cameras. No, don't smash the cameras, because the cameras are the only thing that's going to be saving your goddamn asses right now.
Yeah.
Because right now, the idea that you can hide from a goddamn camera is dead. I'm sorry. It's 2023. I show up to any event. I show up to my goddamn birthday party, which is not happening anytime soon, with just my family. And there's already a ton of cameras there. And that's just a birthday party. A public protest? Yeah, even if you convince one side not to film, the other side's going to film, and they're going to edit and splice anyway. And if you don't believe that,
stakes are high, people, because it's
Absolutely.
not just about what can be done if the cameras are turned off, because the cameras aren't turned off. And what they do is they put it out there, and even people who don't really know what's going on, if that's all the media they're going to get, all the information they're going to get, and that's their introduction, and there's no one else to show them any different, then that is the story that is going to be with them, and you lose more people. We want people who don't know what's going on to know what's going on for real. And so I don't know how to stress it even more, other than we need the truth tellers to put out the truth videos that counter the narrative that we're getting from these right-wing propagandists who want to, even if they're just grifting, even if they don't give a shit what the outcome is and they're just grifting, it doesn't matter, because the end result is the same. We lose people because that's the only story that they see. Yep,
you're absolutely right. It's as Eva is right now saying here. Sorry, Ina is right now saying, it's pretty much guaranteed that if the right wing is going to be pushing it out, they're going to be clipping it to make it look the correct way. And I mean, if you haven't seen the stuff that Deana and I've already showed in regards to what's been clipped from the right, rather independent right, or even mainstream media,
even MSM,
versus what actually occurred, there's a night and day difference. And if you're not too sure, go take a look at the weekend protest stuff that I filmed in regards to it, and I will absolutely step anybody through it if they want to.
Yeah.
It is a night and day difference in regards to what occurred. So we cannot go with the idea that we can't film. We have to film. We have to film well. And I am more than willing to work with anybody to improve on the process to making sure we film correctly, as long as we're on the idea like, no, we do need to film. Do I need to film better to make sure that I protect people and just focus on that? Absolutely. Not going to disagree with that. There's always room for improvement in anything I do. I don't disagree. But the idea that I shouldn't be filming live, whatnot, I can not film live, but I'm trying to get more people interested to go out to protest. Again, I'm not doing this for the money.
know-
I'm trying because there's no more money in this.
Melissa had done a TikTok live from Welland. I think she had somewhere around 100,000 viewers when she was.
Wait,
was
what?
Was it 10,000 or was it 100,000? It was a huge number. I was just like, what?
Maybe 10,000. 100,000 sounds like a lot.
Okay, well, it was a lot. And
Oh, yeah.
10,000, I think
10,000 is still a
was
lot.
more than 10,000. She would
Okay.
know. But it doesn't
Okay.
matter. So I guess let's just say it is only 10,000, which is not
Sure.
an only number to me, especially when we're streaming and we may get 100 people at any given time throughout the entire stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
She reached 10,000 people across everywhere. Doesn't matter. Showing people what it looks like to outnumber and win against fascists in a particular setting.
Yep.
That is not a bad thing. Not
No.
even a little bit. It isn't, because we have been seeing the numbers in Ontario. And now we're seeing in Calgary the numbers are growing. I guess people thought, there's a guy who broke into the library, Derick Reimer, whatever it is. No, we can't let this happen. So that was an inspiration. But this needs to get out to everybody. It's happening in the United States. We're seeing it everywhere. It's starting to spread. It's disgusting that the hate is spreading, but we need to not just stand by, and we need to inspire each other to get out and to show people
it.
how it works.
Yep.
Like, what is it going to look like if you come out to defend drag story time? Well, look at these live streams. This is what it's going to look like. And to be quite honest, it's a lot of fucking fun to
It is.
be with people that you like, and be a community. There's some shit that's happening, and that's not okay. But being all together in a spirit and with a voice and with a mission, and then owning that fucking mission. I don't understand why people don't want to do it more often if these guys are going to keep showing up. Heck, I'm happy to do anything else on a Saturday. Right? This is not, it's great to do it, but I'd much rather do anything else on a Saturday. But at the same time, there's no fucking way I'm going to watch this hate grow and not be part of the solution. And I'm not going to watch people that I care about be tormented and bullied and physically hurt, harmed, mentally harmed, or killed. And that's what's happening right now. That's not hyperbolic. It is what's happening right now. So we just all need to get up and go. And you can disguise. That's the great thing about this too. People wear their wigs. They wear their mask. They wear their sunglasses. I don't give a flying fuck what the right wing say. Why are you covering your face? Because you're a fucking psycho nut. And my life is threatened by you, but I'm also strong enough to stand right fucking here in front of your bigot ass.
Yep.
So don't worry about the masks. Don't worry about the sunglasses. I'm still here.
Exactly. So I mean, there's people like Deana and I who will absolutely take some attention because we're hard to miss, because we'll stand forward, and it doesn't mean you need to stand forward unmasked. If absolutely,
No.
we will do it because we know not everybody can do it. That's not a problem, and by all means, we're hoping that when we do it, it allows you to be able to be hidden a little bit better if you want to. And it's more for your protection. And there's some wonderful things in regards to, absolutely, as Deana was saying, they wear masks, wear wigs. Some other people have said, maybe go to secondhand stores and maybe get some clothing there so you can shuffle your clothing if you want to be more anonymous. There's some fantastic ideas to get involved. And this allows you to come out. If you don't want to, make sure you don't want to come out and it's your first time, you know what? Go pick up some clothing from secondhand. Something that's not as familiar. Come out. Go there. If it's the only time you want to come out, you don't want to come out after that. That's fine. You didn't invest too much. You're good. You can walk away. Not a big deal. Nobody will know who it was. But at least it gets you out, gets you in there if it gets in there. But that's not the only way you can get
saving
involved.
a life.
Yeah. But it's also not the only way involved. This is something else I also want to bring up as Deana and I discussed. Coming out to events is a big thing, but it's not the only thing people can do. It does take a certain fortitude and as Mike Petch also, and as I'm, also advancing in years, will also attest, it takes a certain amount of constitution to be able to stand for as many hours as you want to out in the open. But some people may not feel safe or strong or whatnot or capable of that. But that doesn't mean that you're out of the game. Mm-hmm. There's 101 different things. There's things you can do in regards to, from donating to causes that are actually trying to assist this. And I'm not just talking about causes like, from protesters. There's also causes like, whether it be from food banks all the way up to things like Horizon Ottawa, to other groups that are actually working there. You also get online activism in regards to helping propel the message, when there's a call to action. Do you have an audience? Do you have an audience? You can also help that message go out.
You can also grow an audience doing that. If that's good work. Like Cookie Lady, for example, does really great work.
Cookies Layers and others. Cookie Layers and Resistant Cats is another example of another additional work where they do research in regards to finding information to bring it to people.
Yeah. Valuable information.
You won't believe how massive both Deana and I have relied information, for example, from people like Cookie Lady and Resistance Cats in the stuff we've done. Yeah. We do a lot of work absolutely in the front, but if it wasn't for them to give us information in regards to events going on, people that we might come across,
whatever, charges and guilty pleas, and
we'd be blind.
Yeah,
like there's nothing that we would that we've done that we cannot link back to a group of people.
They are independent journalists, investigative journalists.
Absolutely.
Do you guys want to be known as journalists? The court cat.
Yeah. There's the court cats. There's Cookie Lady.
And the court cat puts out. What am I trying to say?
Substack.
Yeah, it's not a flyer. It's a
newsletter.
Newsletter. Thank you. I'm on my second glass of wine. I don't really drink. If I do, it's like a half glass.
Amateur.
International Women's Day.
Yes.
I'm not slurring yet. I haven't chewed on a hammer yet, so
okay.
We're okay. I'm still enunciating.
Wow. But yeah, no, absolutely. But our point is there's 101 different ways you can absolutely assist. And just because and there's no one particular way that's more effective than the other one. That's a lie. Every single one is just as important as the other one. And like I said, every single one that's not what Deana and I are doing on the front lines is just as important. And in some ways, I will even say more important.
Yeah. There's somebody here I don't want to announce because I don't know if I should, but has helped me on a particular item that I needed help with. I put it out for people to help me, and they just went crazy and got me all the information that I've needed to get going on a little project I'm working on. So you know who you are, and I want to thank you very much for that.
We love you.
And we love you.
It's so by all means, get involved. No matter how small you think it is, it's not. I'm trying to look at the time. No, we can still do.
We got 20 minutes.
We can still do both. So as we're moving away from the I was gonna say as we're moving away from the craziness, but you know what? No, we're not moving away from craziness. It is exactly where we think it is. So we move away from Alberta and we move to Kingston, where our dear Prime Minister met with President Ursula von der Leyen, I think it is. Yeah, von der Leyen of the European Commission in Kingston. Why in Kingston? Don't know. Kind of weird.
Don't know.
It is kind of weird. I believe there was probably a couple of PR things that were there, but you know what? It's
bordering the United States.
It is bordering the United
Going
States.
to New York after or something, or Messina shopping.
I didn't check her schedule, so it's kind of on me. We do have some history in regards to Kingston. Yes, this is important. This particular German delegate is not a Nazi as compared to others.
Yet.
But you know, she was coming to visit Canada, come see some there's a photo op and whatnot. Kingston is significant to Canada in regards to Kingston is the backup capital city of Ottawa, by the way. So if Ottawa was ever to be unable to house Parliament, they'd all shuttle off to Kingston because why not? It was also the capital city for for Canada for a period of time for our history. So that's your educational lesson there for the day. Yay. So they had that there, and convites learned of this particular thing. So as convites do, they decided to hold a protest. And as you can imagine, last minute protest by these guys in Kingston wasn't as effective as they hoped. So I present to you Exhibit A.
You won't get out there, John.
I am a human being. You can't tell me that I can't leave. Why not? Because this is a free country. Absolutely, you're free to sit in your car. I'm free to leave. Let me go. No.
What if that was an ambulance? What if she had a freaking medical condition? What would you do? Block her in?
Well, she's already been with us 3 times, so she obviously isn't in a
It's
rush.
a free world.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Gee. Well, I'll tell you, policing sure has changed since I got out of it. Fucking criminals anymore.
As you can tell, this protest was really, really good. So there was another video I did see.
It has a whiff of Jeremy Glass.
It does. I don't think it's Glass because I don't know where
No,
he
it's
is.
not him, but I'm saying like
Oh, it does. The voice does remind me of Jeremy Glass.
it's just some random guy yelling and screaming, thinking he's gonna be owning Justin Trudeau. And
There was another video I wasn't able to
girl.
locate in regards to them during this protest, and it was just literally just him yelling at the motorcade as it's going by, and it's just him just like, "Fuck you, Justin." I'm like, it's just you, bud. That's just the saddest protest I've heard.
what you doing, Carl?
Totally felt like a Carl. It did. It was kind of sad. It was. I kind of wish I could find it because it was just that much more. But
Oh Lord, these guys.
So yeah, they're kind of doing this. They're still doing the attack Justin Trudeau thing, but I feel they're gonna be kind of splitting their attention in regards to anti-trans drag things and attacking Justin Trudeau. But these, you see, the mandates and everything else was attacking Justin Trudeau. It was kind of like the whole thing was together. But these two are kind of separate. They go attack the trans or attack Justin Trudeau. It doesn't feel as meshed.
Yeah.
You can't
I don't
really do
know.
both.
I think they're very angry at Prime Minister Trudeau for putting in the trans healthcare. There's a trans healthcare bill that is available for transitioning. And I think they were super pissed off that even though these are two separate issues, they have become synonymous with each other because to these bigots, they're the same thing. But when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau appeared on the drag queen show, that was terrible in their mind. So I just feel like, on a positive note, I just saw a tweet, and they did a poll in the United States, but they polled Americans, and 61%, I believe, of Americans, it's definitely 39%, have a negative idea of what woke means, but the majority, it was either 59% or 61%. There might have been a 2% gap, but have a very positive view on what the word woke means. And it just means awareness and compassion and those things. So that whole messaging about being woke or being liberal or whatever, that the Republicans and the conservatives and the right wing are trying to push, it's not working for them. But yeah, I think they kind of are synonymous, because anything that Justin Trudeau, like today, he had a tweet thread. And in the first thread, he's talking just about, in general, women and their struggles on International Women's Day. And the second tweet says, and, meaning it's continuing from another one.
Yep.
And he said, and the rise in anti-trans women hate that has grown, or something to that effect. Trans women are women too. And the right-wing bigots went berserk over
Well, they
that.
lost their shit. They absolutely lost their shit with that.
Trudeau took it away from biological women. Nobody took anything from me. It's still International Women's Day. Cheers again for the 100th time today. Like, acknowledging struggles of any women. If he acknowledged the struggles of BIPOC women, or any women, it's a big deal to them? No, they wouldn't say a damn thing, but they hate trans people so much that it's a big deal. Nobody took anything away from women. It's still International Women's Day. He acknowledged all women in that tweet. Get the fuck over it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm going to play interviewer here. With trans women existing, as trans women are, does that change your life in any way, being a woman?
No, not at all. I am still I am better than before I knew trans women. I am better now than before. Yeah, I said that right. I've been drinking. I just wanted to make sure.
We apologize now. If there's any translation
I'm a
issue,
better person now that I know trans women. But
Dita's better with the green than the alcohol.
Yeah. As far as me being a woman, any less of a woman, nope. That hasn't changed anything.
Do trans women threaten you in any way?
Oh, no. No. Why? Why would they? Cis women don't threaten me. Why would trans women threaten me? You're either comfortable in your damn skin or you're not. And if you're not, it's not the trans woman's fault. You need to work on yourself. If you're not comfortable with who you are, mistakes and all, flaws and all, I mean, I'm not saying don't try to be a better person. It doesn't mean be happy where you are and just stay where you are. The reason why I'm confident in who I am and nobody will take that away from me is because I'm putting the focus on myself and me being a better person and me being there for other people and me knowing that people can rely on me when I tell them I'm going to help them or whatever. But when you keep focusing on other people or shining a mirror on other people, you're not looking at yourself. And it means you're not happy with who you are for realsies.
This one I want to bring up because it was kind of ties a little bit with stuff in the beginning. They're right now going after drag. They're also going after trans rights. It's like attacking gay marriage. Their happiness does not affect our happiness. The only reason why I kind of want to bring that attention, like, you're absolutely right, vaccine babies. Sorry, vaccines a baby.
Vaccines a baby.
Oh. Got the plurals backwards there. Don't judge me. But the only kind of thing I also want to point out is, like, they're starting with those two, but they're going to come after the gay marriage at some point. They're trying to work their way up there.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the homophobic rhetoric come back up with comfort.
It is. Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right.
Loud and comfortable.
Yeah. They've come after drag, and it's what I've discussed with a couple of people. Anti-drag, or anti-drag story time, or dragophobia, or drag time story. I call it the palatable hatred or homophobia. It's like, nah, we're not really homophobic, but yeah, that thing there, it's not right for kids. And if we can get you in there with that little bit, then we can get you with the other ones. And they're going to try to inch their way up. Like, oh, well, you know what? This other thing, this trans people in the bathrooms, yeah, that's just as bad. It's just like the drag story time we got you to agree with. They're just going to keep inching their way, and they will inch their way up to gay marriage. By the time we get to gay marriage,
biracial marriage,
it's pretty much almost everything for LGBTQ will have been rolled back so significantly. It's going to be tough to try to get back. It's going to be a whole decade's worth, if not more, to try to bring back.
In Alaska, they made it so, like, they took away the legal protection for the LGBTQ community, 2SAI plus community. So the only time people cannot discriminate is when it comes to, which was it? Employment. But they're allowed to, they've taken away the protection from anything financial, like banks and mortgages, housing, those things. So you can't discriminate somebody. They can have a job, so they can help run the machine, but they can be discriminated against when they have to find shelter or
cash their paycheck,
or cash their paycheck, or buy a fucking cake from a bakery, or.
Yeah.
So it's like happening in the United States, and I don't want to get too comfortable with Canada, thinking that it can't happen here.
I think pretty much Alberta kind of showed, like, no, they're trying right now to do that here.
Yeah. Oh,
so
my cat would like to come in. One moment, please. Sorry, you can take me off if you want.
Absolutely.
Kenny, go on.
As Deana's going to address the cat and the dog issue, we're going to prep up for our last segment for the evening. They're not chuds, they're just Deana's pets.
guess I should have gone on mute.
That's okay. We got to enjoy the entire zoo chaos kickoff.
Yes.
It was great. So as we move on to the last segment, and we not so much, well, it's kind of lighter. It's more of viewer warning. Please have nausea bags nearby as we get into the next segment, which consists of Chris Sky, who has decided to venture into the singles world, even though he's married with his wife. And his wife, I believe, is doing this.
Vaxxed. He's probably vaxxed.
I don't think so. This boy is cray. I've been starting to follow some of his shit on TikTok. Sorry, not TikTok, but on Twitter. And I'm like, oh. He's not Nico. Who's a whole different subject in regards to Nico. Wow. But he is crazy, and this guy is susceptible to believing literally anybody gives him any information. I'm almost tempted to fuck with him to find out. Anyways.
Oh, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they see that. I think they only see activism. I think that's what you have up right now.
No, I should have Skyway.
Oops. That's what they see.
Is that what you guys see? What do you guys see right now?
I can see it in our little screen too. They're seeing activism. Why? We're seeing Chris Sky. Where did he go? We lost Joe. Do we have to? Hello,
What do we see?
Joe.
Hello.
Still
Sorry.
seeing activism. I think you have to take off the activism and keep your face there. You left and activism stayed.
I left in my activism state. All right. So hang on. I am seeing.
Still just seeing activism. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Really? Let me see here. Has nobody seen any photos up to this point?
Now there's no photos.
Now you're just messing with me.
Nah. Now it's just the black screen and we're floating up on top of the stripes.
I need people to let me know.
Nothing. There's just right here. Nothing.
There is nothing. All right. Let's see what we can do.
That's weird, eh? Everything worked up until
30 seconds ago?
Chris Sky.
Well, maybe it is a desire from the system that does not want to see Chris Sky.
Nobody wants to see that shit. All it is a picture of him and his stupid dating for unvaccinated freedom dating. Is that what he calls it? No, still just activism. But it says Vancouver, Sunday, March 19th. There's a private event. And they want to teach who? Men or something? Is it men or everybody?
It is
How to build confidence, become empowered, experience true freedom. Still seeing activism. Sky has been canceled. He's been canceled?
He's been canceled from the stream.
Oh.
Okay. I think is what they're trying to say.
Yeah. See, I'm forgetting the humor. I need to stop drinking wine. Only 30 spots. There's only 30 spots. Come on, guys. $100 a ticket.
I'll see if the video can horrify you guys instead. So here we go.
All right. Let's see if we see the video. Oh.
What's going on, everybody? If you ask around, our Burlington party on March 4th was a massive success. Everybody had a fantastic time, and it was a great way to network with other like-minded, unjabbed people. We are currently in Toronto, but on the 19th of March, we will be in Vancouver hosting an event at one of the hottest nightclubs in the city. I'm going to send you the links right now. Grab your tickets. The early bird ones are pretty much gone, so grab them now to save the money, and we're going to see you on the 19th. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be even better than the last one. And if it's not your city yet, guys, don't worry. Your city's coming, I promise.
So you didn't get the image of Chris Guy. You got that instead.
He promises he's going to bring it to our city.
The promise or a threat?
It's definitely a threat. I don't know what to say to that. I mean,
better say something. You
there's-
maybe play that.
Definitely. I did. Definitely.
This segment right now of
Definitely
Chris
if it came to
Guy.
Ottawa, definitely if it came to Ottawa, who's going to be there? Chris Stacey, remember he tried to find a Valentine and nobody bit. So Carl's going to be there. Do you think Ocean will be single by then? I think she'll be single by then, at least for
I
that
think
event.
I feel she's never really single.
And then who else is there? Oh yeah, I don't even know. Hilarious. Whatever. I have nothing to say other than how do you make sure that everybody that's coming to the event isn't vaccinated? Like, how do you make sure? Do they have to have an unvaccinated passport? How do
Ooh,
you
an
know?
unvaccinated passport.
How do you know that they don't have the 5G microchip in them? Do they have
Oh, that's right.
scanners?
That's right. Fox and Dirksen might be in that.
Jerkson.
Yeah. Dirksen's out cruising and ready to go.
He's going to bring his bank statement with him so that he can prove that he has money in the bank. Do you remember that
True.
happened? Do you remember that happened?
I remember you mentioned that. Yeah, he was showing his bank statements. I'm like,
Somehow he could show me his bank statement.
can't show you anything else, but his bank statement. It's good to go. Yeah. I mean, I don't fault anybody for dating because I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a problem. Although so I more fault Sky
Carl's
and
not
wife.
invited. Carl was vaxxed. Sorry.
That's true. He's 3 times vaxxed. I fault Sky a little bit more and Carl would have to be invited because Sky is collecting $60 a head for these events.
They're gonna
I'm like-
fundraise.
Yeah, these are money making machinations. Money making schemes.
I wonder why he picked only 30 people can come. To make it more hype and more exclusive? So that
Probably.
more people than he would have multiple events, or
More than likely. I mean, so one of these things, I mean, if you're doing a dating event, you want to try at least getting balanced in regards to equal women to equal men. If you want to make it kind of successful repeat, it's going to sound shitty, but you want to have more women to men because if there's more women to men, that boosts it up to get more men to want to show up.
this reminds me of when I used to work in bars.
Then you know exactly why
Chris
the
Guy
whole
is going to have a ladies' night to draw
you know why ladies' night exists, right?
Yes, to draw in the guys.
Exactly.
Women get in free so that the men come and the men spend all the money drinking and all that other stuff. Yeah, for sure. I worked in that industry for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying anything in regards to men. The reason why there's a ladies' night is because men are stupid. I'm the first one to admit it. As Dina will completely attest, men are stupid. We go to ladies' night because there's women all over the place because they got in for free, and they're going to be drinking for free because we're dumb enough to buy all the drinks, and that's exactly what everybody's banking on.
And it works.
It absolutely works.
So Chris Guy is
Absolutely.
going to soon be moving on to like ladies' night.
He will absolutely. Yeah, I got one of those that does that too. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he wants to be successful, and again, this is kind of a free tip, which is kind of dumb to kind of toss it up, but it's like, yeah, cap it out to 30, but cap it out to 30 guys. We know it's going to be cis men and cis women because, let's be honest, we know the crowd. These guys are not in any way different there. But he casts out 30 guys, and yeah, absolutely make it free for women, and that's it. Boom, he's done. He's going to have like freaking sold out shows all the time. Sorry, sold out events all the time.
Well, he'll gradually make them bigger once he knows that he can sell them out. It's actually a smart move, not having a big, like Jordan Peterson, for example. I think he's going to sell out 18,000 seats. It's a setup for failure. So then you just start off small and then start seeing how big you can.
Apparently 4,000 was too big for him, though.
What a douche. What a douche canoe.
He's a douche. That's it for us, though.
Yeah. That was a good night. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Once again, I have one sip left, so that's because I spilled most of it on the ground. I don't know if you guys saw that. So cheers. Happy International Women's Day.
Mine got refilled. It's weird.
I need a wife.
Can't have mine. She's too awesome.
She is awesome.
She is indeed, but to which I celebrate every day with her, not just the International Women's Day. But again, thank you, as Deana said. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Good night.
This was a packed week. The only other things that I wanted to mention is, we had some more events. If you're joining the Ottawa Activism, by all means, let us know. Jump in there. We'll let you guys know as events are coming up. If I forget to promote the Discord, DM me. Then you can be the hero, and I'll send out a message saying, so-and-so reminded me. Here's the Discord. Come join in. Be free for you guys to jump in because it's always free. Aside from that, thanks for coming out. And we shall see you guys again next Wednesday. If not, join us on Friday for our spaces.
See you later.
Have fun. Thanks, guys.